Welcome everyone to a new episode of Two Nosy Meerkats, where we are finally we are reaching a milestone on this podcast. We have today not only one heterosexual guest, but two.
Oh.
You guys are our first. You are popping our heterosexual cherry.
Not mine, am I right? And presumably not Lucas's either. But
no.
Give it up for wonderful comedians Lee and Maxim Allen. Thank you guys for being on the pod.
Ooh. Hello. So glad to be on it. I'm so excited.
We are so happy to have you guys on. Because, you know, as Gabby has said many a time on episodes of this podcast, is that straight people do not get enough representation. We are oppressed by these queers just dominating the world. When are the straight people going to get their turn in the limelight?
Yeah, I honestly feel bad for you guys. I mean, what is it?
Exactly.
You just have to eat all the bland food. I'm confusing it with white people, which I am. Just confusing all of the top groups that they're not actually the top groups. Whoa, yeah. This is off to a crazy start.
Whoa.
We've been killing a lot of listeners.
So why don't you say what you really mean? The normal people. And then there's just like, we know what you really think, Gabby. We know what you really think.
No, it's notorious. I'm notorious.
We were binge watching some RuPaul's Drag Race seasons.
Beautiful.
And then Lucas, you showed us Love is Blind. And going from RuPaul's Drag Race to Love is Blind was like, oh, this is why people shit on straight people, because we're so boring.
Oh, it's the worst. It's
totally fair.
If you were trying to like advertise straight people, Love is Blind is not what you would want as your content. It would not
compared to
Why
drag
do you
queens.
want to advertise straight people love? That's why do you want to advertise that? That's such a bad idea. Who wants to watch it? It's been a thing for thousands of years. Like, fuck that shit.
In a world where there are too many gays, one group reigns above it all. Coming in 2021, straight people.
Garbage straights.
Love is Blind is so dumb.
Yeah,
it is bad.
Tell us more.
Yeah, they're just like, their intentions are so clear, and it's magnified through the camera, and people are like, I think I'm blah 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 blah. I'm like, you guys are just fucking stupid and boring. Just go to a third world country, get some perspective. Sorry, that went to a really negative side, really bad. I hated that show.
Yeah, I can't say I was a fan either. I watched the first episode and then I watched the last episode because it was one of those things where I was like, I think that I'm gonna pick it up along the way. Like,
the most fun of it is when they're in the pods. That's the most fun part.
Yes.
When they can't see each other. That's where the tension is. That's where it gets good. And then everything after is just
anyway. It's like Love is Blind,
exactly.
but then you see them and it's like, well,
they're all drop dead gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they can just like drop 1 to 2 people for each group, and one to 2 ugly people to each group, it would be so fun. So when they're meeting the people on their own side, they'll be like, you know what, we have ugly people on our side, so they gotta have ugly people on their side too. So now they gotta really think about it. They're like, oh, all the people on our side are hot. Probably it's the same on just it's.
But do you think? Okay, here's a question.
Yes.
I feel like the whole show would just fall apart if there was even one ugly person, because they recruit from like Instagram influencers. And
how do they recruit? Because I have someone who I have a friend of mine from college who applied, who tried to get on the show. So, yeah. So wait, how did they initially? Tell me, how did they? How did they recruit?
I'm pretty
people?
sure most of them are just like, they'll find people with like big followings on Instagram and be like, or at least
agent or management.
Yeah, that's how they do it on Are You the One, at least, which is another great reality show. But
I don't know about Are You the One.
I just came because I got so excited to talk about it.
Lucas, did you have to break the news to your friend? He was like, I didn't get on Love is Blind, and you had to be like, you're probably ugly.
She
Love isn't blind.
is gonna
Love is blind,
be-
but casting is.
She is going to
Casting
be
isn't blind.
heartbroken when she listens to this.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
Um,
Lucas's friend. I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure she's beautiful. It
She
was
is
me,
beautiful.
actually. So
She's
I'm really
gorgeous.
upset you said that.
You guys
you
are
are-
so
yeah.
nice. We don't know if she's beautiful until we see a picture of her. We cannot just say she's beautiful.
I mean, I can show
No,
you
you're
pictures. She is
absolutely
actually
right.
very beautiful, yeah.
All right.
You're so right. We're just saying it. We're just
Yeah.
spreading positivity in the universe, but for no reason. I mean, she could be so ugly. It's so fucked up of us to just assume.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Wait,
another
can I ask-
episode of Two Judgmental Meerkats. I'll be your host, Maxim Allen. This is Lee Land. We're happy to judge your friends. Without
Two
seeing them.
asshole meerkats.
Two nosy assholes.
Lucas, does she listen to the podcast?
I don't know, actually. I'll tell her about this episode so she can hear the awful things you've been saying.
I'm sure you're beautiful, or at least on the inside.
Wow.
Oh my god!
love that.
Oh god! So wait, can I ask, like, so obviously, like, RuPaul's Drag Race, a million times more interesting. What would you say is, like, the most disappointing thing you were struck with when I showed you Love Is Blind?
The profound straightness. And I say that as a
Yeah.
100% straight man.
Yeah.
I think it's just like,
It gets to a point where you're like, this is a bit much. This is...
yeah, it's what it is for me is none of these people on the show seem to have like passions or hobbies or like diverse interests. They're all just kind of hot people who like to eat and drink and go on vacation, which is I don't know.
You're
I didn't vibe
forgetting,
with
you're
any of
forgetting
them.
about Cameron's burning passion for rap. You are forgetting.
Oh.
Did you see that bit?
Oh,
I don't.
yeah.
I think we skipped around. We kind of watched in the
Okay.
background because
Well, there's a darling moment where Cameron is meeting his wife's fiance, and so his wife. Well,
His
no,
wife's fiance.
Cameron is a bull.
I go college went. He's meeting his fiance's mother, who and his fiance.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, his fiance is African American, and she's never dated a white dude before. And so the very first white dude that she brought to meet her mom, he's like, "Well, I like rapping," and he starts
It
doing
was
like.
very adorable. He was
it
like
was very
decent, even.
He wasn't that bad, but
Yeah,
it was
he's
also
decent.
But her mom was just like, "The huh?" It was like,
That's a bit much.
Did she
That's-
approve of him in the end? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
she
Yeah,
loves him.
she was
She
alright.
adores him.
I
Yeah.
think that Cameron and Lauren, right? I think they're still together from what I hear of the rumor mill.
they were like
seemed
hailed as the
pretty in love.
sweethearts of the show. They were hailed as
That's
Yeah.
those
most
are the only
likable.
two that I actually liked. When I saw them at the beginning and saw them later in the season, I was like, these are two good people. I hope they make it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maxwell,
everyone else
I
does.
think you're onto something. 'Cause I feel like when I watched a little bit of the show, it reminded me of why I think I would have been good if I had joined like a sorority. Like,
Ooh.
I feel like all you have to do is just be like, food, I'll eat it, and everyone's like, oh my god, you're hilarious. Who just says stuff like that? That's so crazy and quirky.
Wait. So Gabby, how different do you think you would be if you had joined a sorority?
That is such a good question.
Because I always think about that with how different would I be if I had siblings. So I wonder like how like different ways your brain might
If
have
I
processed
bought
and stuff.
siblings, how different would I be? I think
But yeah.
I would ultimately be the same, but maybe a little bitchier. Like, I think there's this side of me that could totally come out that's, like, super duper, like, gossipy, and just, like, a girl walks in the room, and I say, hi, how are you? Oh my god, you're so cute, and she leaves the room, I'm like, that girl's a fucking bitch. But that's a part of me that I hide deep down inside because it's not nice. But it is fun and it is satisfying. And I think I would have let more of that out of me if I had joined a sorority. Maybe I would have a better job, though, because I know maybe I would have a job because I know
Networking.
people. Yeah, I would have a job professionally networking. I know that people like join sororities and fraternities, and then people in like hedge funds or whatever, like, oh, I was in that fraternity. Did you have to put the cookie dough helmet on your head? Oh, okay. Well, let's promote you to sales. So I don't know. Maybe I fucked up. That's my
think-
answer.
I think you should establish a sorority chapter where the cookie dough helmet is the founding element of it. Like, this is a sorority, and in this sorority, we all wear whatever this cookie dough helmet is that you
The
have
sisterhood
pitched.
of the traveling cookie dough helmet.
Yes.
We're a Kappa Delta cookie dough, and we. I don't have any. I don't have anything. I was hoping someone would.
Lucas,
chime in
that
with
was
an
so.
end to that.
I wanted to hear it. It was on the tip of my tongue. I wanted
I'm
it.
sorry.
It's okay. How do you think you would have been different if you had joined a frat?
Had joined a sorority.
Or if you joined a sorority.
If I had joined a sorority, I think I would pull off a white dress a lot better if I had some sisters to help me get into it. Because I remember like friends that were in sororities, they were always wearing white dresses, and I was like, is this
And
a
white
cult?
Converse.
Yeah, it was very
Midsummer
odd.
vibes. I don't like
yeah,
it.
very midsummer vibes. Wait, Max. Wait, so I'm thinking about how I would have changed if I was in like a fraternity. Maxim, were you in a fraternity?
No, I think when I got to college, I was kind of, I'm going to say just in a weird place. I was a very, you wouldn't recognize me. I was a very angry, like self-isolating type person. And so when I got to college, I was like, I'll make my own friends. I don't need to pay for friends. Whatever. Fuck those people. And then when I got like 3 years into college, I was like, it might have been nice to like chill out and like just hang with some people. But I think I stand firmly anti-fraternity at the end.
I'm not trying to be mean. I saw Maxim's picture when he was in college. His
I like
bands
this already.
his bands was really long. I'm like, I don't think any frat will accept somebody
No way.
with long bands.
No, you should
You
see my high
know?
school pictures. They're bad. I mean, it
I've
took
seen your
me-
bangs in those pictures. It's something to behold. It's hot stuff.
Are you talking like Zoe Deschanel bangs? Like
No,
what?
just like you remember.
She wishes.
You remember like the nondescript 2008 skater haircut, which was just
how could I forget?
Yeah,
Never
it was-
shout
the,
never.
the kind you flip.
It's just like
yeah. It's
Uh-huh.
Like Bieber
every
in
dude has that.
2009.
Yeah, exactly. So like I grew up my
And
whole
that.
life just having that
and that plus glasses.
and glasses.
At the
Oh.
my
same
hair,
time.
my hair would come down and it would ski jump off my glasses, like it would swoop upwards because it would just bend off of them. It was so dumb.
Oh.
So you wouldn't have dated Maxim if you'd met him in college.
Oh no way.
Look at her face! Ah!
Oh my god. I was
No.
thinking if I had joined a frat, I think I would have been miserable. I don't think I would have gone well with a fraternity at all. I remember I was at a party because like a friend of mine from my freshman year hall brought me to his fraternity for a party, and like this dude was trying to pitch it to me, and I was just like, everything he said, I was like, I don't like the way this sounds. He was like, yeah, you have to pay a membership fee to live in the house. I was like, that sounds awful. That's
Yeah.
and I'd never just like hung out with just like a bunch of dudes. It's always been like, because I grew up in like high school theater and stuff, and then I did theater in college. So it was always like a mix of guys and girls. It was always a healthy, and that made me feel like very balanced. But just like dudes and alcohol just kind of like just gave me the willies. I don't like it.
I think the Olympic drinking is also kind of scary. Like if you're not a
Yeah.
big
That-
drinker, just like how they haze you and like make you drink a shitload and just like it's all about drinking all the time.
Yeah.
If you're not into that, you're not gonna vibe.
They should just make people to do open mics.
That's your hazing, open micing.
Yeah, like in front of a really hostile crowd.
Ooh.
That would be way much better than drinking. Way much more fun for other people to watch.
Oh wait, this is actually a good idea. The idea of like instead of like putting your body through physical stress for hazing, psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Right?
You have
Yeah.
to have to do your first open mic at the Lantern.
Oh,
No,
Which-
no,
They're
not
shut
Lantern.
down. They're shut down, okay?
People's mic. It has to be Jimmy People's
no!
mic.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like that's a really good starting point if you're going to a frat or buka. Buka or Jimmy People's
First time I did
mic.
Buka, it was actually really fun. It's for
Buka's
those
a nice place.
For those
Yeah.
listening, Buka is like so in New York there's a couple of weird open mics that are like restaurants where real people are eating and
Yeah.
they have just like in a separate area comedians just go practice their material in front of just like the people eating and other comedians. and it's kind of weird. Like you're just
It's very weird.
It's
You feel.
weird.
I feel. Every time I was there, I would feel bad for the diners, the people eating there.
See, we actually met at Buka. That was
Aw.
our place, but we were always in the bar area for the open mic, and that was fine. But like occasionally, the person who runs the mic would put it in the back on Friday nights in the restaurant area, and it was so intrusive for the people eating that it was just I couldn't take it.
All you can hear is silverware.
Ooh, that's not good. That would be way too. For me, that would be way too distracting.
But is it silverware laughing?
No.
No.
Now imagine
They want you
Are
to
you making
shut
it seem
up.
like an outdoor
Yeah.
show where people are honking their horns, like, yeah, just like clacking their knives and forks, like, yeah, we like it.
But it's like imagine you're going to perform an open mic. You're 18 years old and your older frat brothers are roasting you and making you do this. And you go to an open mic in the back of a Nigerian restaurant where there are parties of 8 to 12 people having conversations and actively giving you nasty looks because you're trying to perform jokes to them.
I'm having shivers go down my spine. This is good. This is a really good idea.
Right?
I'm afraid it would make too many comedians. If it even made one or two frat guys comedians, because they're like, if I can survive this, I can always do comedy. That's one too many.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true. That would be
yeah.
a little. Yeah.
But I think that wouldn't happen for the most part. I think for the most part, people would be like, wow, I'm not joining a frat. I am going to do charity work. Make
are
the
your two
world a better
options in
place.
college.
Yes, those are the only two options. You can't do theater or art. It's just frats or charity.
The two genders, frats and charity.
Frats and charity. That's cute that you met at Buka, though. I didn't
That
know
was very.
that.
But you said that you guys hung out mostly at the creek and the cave, right?
No.
Is that right?
Mostly
No?
at Buka.
Oh, okay.
I used to go to the creek and cave a lot because I used to
Okay.
live really close to it. He went to there to hang out with me, so he went to creek and cave not to do the mics. Instead of he was just trying to be creepy.
I wasn't trying to be creepy, all right? I wanted, in my defense.
I'm kidding.
This
Pretty
is when,
creepy that he like lives in your house. Like you should tell him to go somewhere else. Honestly,
I see him like every day. It's becoming a thing.
It's a little too much.
Okay, in
Yeah.
my defense, at the time, Lee was my best friend in New York comedy, and she was like, I'm going to do the creek. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the creek. And I'd go to hang out with her and do the creek mics. So it wasn't just
That's
like
nice.
me trying to get after that. It was like mics and hanging out with one of my friends.
oh my god,
Right.
that was a very significant laugh. Wow, I want to hear
It was-
your exploration.
You
on
are
that.
was
such a
very-
good friend to hang out with me at the creek and cave at 2 a.m. in the morning at the basement. You're such a good friend. Haha.
Lee, will you explain your laugh?
That why?
The laugh you do?
Why?
I think the listeners will appreciate your story of why you do that laugh.
Oh, I used to go to people's mic a lot every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I start my day as I start my mic from people's mic. Then I go to other mics. Then I end my day with Crick and Cave. So it's not a good start. It's not a good finish. So I developed a laugh every time when people on stage, like mostly straight white dudes,
Yeah.
just say some really problematic stuff.
It's more of an attack than an appreciation.
Yeah, then it's
Yeah.
and it's not funny. It's like if you're funny, then you will find your crowd. But if you're not even funny, then fuck you, right?
Yeah.
So
I will say it's the look in your eyes that completes the laugh. It's just like, and then you just like stare. It's the
Yeah.
perfect. It's
Yeah,
made
it's
it happen.
it's the hard stare. I just love it. It's like I could write a show on it. It's like
yeah.
hunting for the
pilot.
look behind Lee's eyes.
so I just practice. I used to practice me and laugh at home. So when people are doing that stuff, I just like go, ha. That's
Ooh.
it. Then leave it
Yeah.
blank. They're just like, I don't feel like that laugh is the kind of laugh I want. Like, what do you mean? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is it a good laugh? What do you mean? I just love to watch people like get so problematic straight white dudes to get confused.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I feel like I've heard other people do that laugh at open mics, but like they're not doing it like you are out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they just kind of want to show that they're there. I've heard a lot of comedians, like, you'll tell a joke and they'll go, ah! I'm like, well, this wasn't your show. This isn't about you, man.
I mean,
$5.
We've all tuned out of a comedian's joke and then tuned back in and just decided to fake laugh at the punchline without any
Just
context.
like looking at your phone, and then you go back, and then you go back to your phone
Like,
immediately.
nice, man. I'm sure that was good.
Yeah.
Great set, you too.
Yeah. But what I like about Lee's laugh is it's purely violent intent
Oh, it's so
in the
good.
best way possible. It's so good. And it's somewhat because Lee and I know that we understand each other's need for revenge. And so I respect it and I live vicariously through it when it happens.
Now me, a softer person, hanging out with Lee, going to hang out with her, and then meeting her and her being like, I worked on my evil laugh. Want to see? Ha! I was like, I tried to stop her from doing it, but she would practice at home, just like
Not
"Ha!"
Oh,
anymore.
that's beautiful. Oh, that's amazing. Wait, Gabby, I don't know if did I tell you the advice I gave to Lee about a revenge idea? Did I tell you this?
No, go on. And also
Okay,
tell our listeners.
Yeah, so to our listeners, if we need to introduce you guys properly. So Maxim and Lee are very great comedians. They're also open mic hosts, and they
I can't
live
believe
together.
we're doing this like 20 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
At this point, we're like, who
We
fucking
are
cares? There's some
muy
people,
professionale.
whatever.
So they're a lovely couple of comedians. They live together, and a couple months ago, they were like end of summer. They were moving out of an old apartment from a roommate that was not that nice of a dude. He was really, really not that nice of a dude. And I
It's
came
very
over.
shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came over. I think it was just as they were like barely preparing to move out, and Lee was asking me because she was thinking of ways to just have like a subtle little revenge on him, like about like stuff to leave in his apartment or maybe takes. And she was like, Lucas, do you have any ideas? And without missing a beat, I said, shit in a cup, dip your fingers into it and run it on the underside of the fridge because no one thinks to clean that.
Oh my god, like the
The underside of the fridge door, I meant to
thought
say.
to call it like the taint of the fridge. I don't know.
That's
Taint
perfect.
of the fridge,
taint
yes.
of the fridge. That is amazing.
You're right. I've never thought to clean the I hope no one's done that to me. I hope the real estate agent at our apartment wasn't like, these bitches, I hate them. I wish we could have sold this to someone else.
Yeah.
She and the thing is, I'm a very take the high road, non-confrontational person, and all her Lee
I love Lee's disdain.
over the course of like a month, like I know she's like telling me during the situation all the fucked up things she wants to do to get back at this dude.
Oh,
and,
so many.
And I told
What
her,
were some ideas?
I told her
Maxim,
to
go
not.
on.
I told her to not because it was stressing me out. I was like, listen, I just moved in 20 days ago and I'm getting kicked out with you. We have to find a new place. Let's not make it harder than it has to be. And then I would wake up and she would be on top of me and give me a hug. She'd be like, remember, don't be nice to and I was like, and then she would be like plotting and telling me all the things she wanted to do. I'd get home from a long day at work and she'd be like, here's my idea. And I'd be like, I can't hear this. So Lee, please take it away with your ideas.
Oh my.
First
I'm
of all,
so
I gotta
excited.
say this roommate is really shitty. Okay, he's really shitty. With our were cool for a long time. Then Maxim moved in, and he remember Maxim could only move in is because he let Maxim move in. So Maxim could not just move in like that. So 20 days before Maxim moved in, he's like, I'm having second thought. So he got a girl come over to look at the place, and he raised the price on the rent, $100 more. and he told Maxim, you know what? I can rent the place out with this price, so you gotta pay me this price.
After promising me a lower price.
Yes. So he used that. He's like, I can rent this place out, and then he used that as a leverage to charge Maxim, which is like such a red flag. Then 20 days after Maxim moved, Maxim still had boxes unpacked, and he's like, why don't you guys get in place together yourself? I was like, he just moved in. He's like, it doesn't matter. I was like, what? He's like, you guys are subletters. He's so rude, just out of nowhere. We're like, do you want to talk? Can we just talk about it? He's like, what? I don't understand. What do we need to talk? I want you guys to move out. He's like, I normally have this place. People come and go in every 3 months, so people don't keep this place at their own space, so they don't get comfortable here. Which is bullshit, okay?
What kind of weird, like, rom-com logic is that? Like, I don't want you to get too comfortable here.
Well,
can't get close
right?
to anyone.
Part of his logic, he was like, people are only supposed to stay here like 3 months. And meanwhile, Lee had been living there from January to August.
No, that is a lie, to be honest, because he used that as an excuse. But the reality was more like people normally just come and go in 3 months. They're on their own schedule. So he never, like, people just naturally were not planning on staying long term there.
So he just took the tendency as a rule. That's what he was like. That's what he was doing.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, you don't want us here. We don't want here. Then I'm like, okay, I thought you were my friend. Then clearly we're not. Then I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm gonna spend the rest of the month, and I'm on my way out. And he got really mad because I just ignored him. Like, the way when I ignore people, if you're watching
I never want to cross you legally. I swear to fucking God.
It's like, if you're watching me ignoring another person, you'll be like, damn, does that person even exist?
I think that's beautiful.
And she was ignoring him one morning. I'm still in bed, and a former roommate texted me, like, being all like upset about some situation, and I like resolved this thing on my phone. I put my phone down, and then our current roommate starts yelling at Lee, just like because she's ignoring him.
Oh God.
And that kind of kicked it off, where it was just like, all right, fuck this dude. And then Lee started plotting her revenge.
Yeah.
Can I say one of my favorite factoids about this dude is that correct me if I'm wrong, he's such a shitty dude that he tried to quarantine with his mom, and his mom was like, I don't want you here.
Yeah, his mom is like,
Yeah.
Did you forget that we don't get along? I'm like, damn, your mom doesn't even like you.
I made you, and now I'm gonna break you.
Yeah.
That is fucked, man. I mean, he must suck that much.
He doesn't flush. He's almost 30. He doesn't flush the toilet. Number 1 and number 2. He
Jesus
just forgets
Christ.
about it.
He
It's
like
just
is on his phone on the toilet, and then someone will call him, and he'll get distracted, and he'll just get up and walk out.
Well, that's a red flag that people are just calling him, and he, like, out of the blue, and he's not texting them back, like, can I call you later when I'm ready? Because that's a roundabout way of saying, like, I never just pick up people's phone calls. What is this, 1993?
Legit,
I'm just gonna pick up the phone?
He just I live on my own time zone, bro. It's just me. But for real, like, wasn't his job? He sounds like almost like a movie villain in like a teen rom-com or something, because like he's a manager for teenage SoundCloud rappers.
Teenage rappers.
I would say also
teenage rappers.
We shouldn't go into it too much, just in case, because it's like a very limited selection of people who would subject themselves to this lifestyle.
We can cut out this. We can cut out a chunk. That's easy.
I'm just
No,
floored
I'm
by
saying
this
they
drama.
were shooting a music video in our apartment. Theoretically speaking, if you're shooting a music video in somebody's living room, that you can see a roll of paper towel in the background, you're never gonna make it, okay?
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
zero attention to detail. It sounds like.
Can I say one of my favorite things about a show? By the way, little plug. You guys will plug anything you like at the end, but they run a sort of comedy production called Little Panda Productions on Instagram. And I remember I was at, I think it was your first show by Jane's Carousel, that I saw like 50 feet to the left was a mixtape music video shoot happening.
I remember
where people were just like rapping to the camera but totally dead silent, while like Claire Alexander was doing stand-up like much louder.
That was like
It made me laugh so much.
good
That was
luck
a
to
wild
them.
time. I also want to say about, before you get into your revenge plots, which I do want to hear, you touched on something interesting when you were talking about ignoring people. The one time during the pandemic, I had to like see somebody I didn't like. I was like really nervous because, you know, during the quarantine, you can kind of generally like choose who. I don't have to see you, like it's a pandemic, but it was like in a big, you know, outdoor crowd, so I like had to see them. And I asked my sister for advice, and she was like, just pretend that you've never met this person. And I was like, no, that's petty. Like, we have history. Like, we know each other. We hate each other. And she was like, no. I'm not talking about ignoring them. Like, don't ignore them. Just pretend you've never met. So if they come up to you, just be like, oh, hey. You know, like that. Like, so the way you would a person who you've actually never met. And they're like, how are you? Just be like, I'm good, you know?
I love that you're kind of leaning in, just like, I'm good. Just like
most
American Psycho.
because that's what you do if somebody you didn't know came up to you and just started asking you how you were. You'd be pleasantly surprised, but you'd be a little bit like,
good.
huh.
See, a lot of
good.
times I'll just, if someone has a problem with me, I will go into a situation if I know they're there, and I'll pretend that there is no problem. And it'll throw them off balance because they'll be like, why is he just being nice and just being cool? Like, what?
Yeah, it's just like he's so nice. You just want to punch him in the face. He's
So
like
true.
that kind of person.
Yeah.
Maxim, the most punchable.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
it's like he's so nice. It's like, well, I'm this nice. What are you gonna do? Punch me? Then you're gonna be the wrong side right away. I'm gonna be so nice to you. You're evil, you know?
So nice, it's mean. In fact,
Yeah.
So nice, it's
almost
like an
mean.
infection. Like,
you're like, get it off me.
Lee's been
This
doing a joke.
kindness.
Lee's been doing a joke about it, and it's been killing because she just says that I'm so nice. She wants to put my face in a cactus, and audiences love it, which I'm like totally okay with. I'm like, go for it. It's killing out there.
Okay, so what are the revenge plots?
Okay.
yes, yeah.
First one. I was gonna buy my first plan automatically. I'm just gonna buy like the ticklish itching powder for pranks.
Okay.
Sprinkle them all over his underwear.
I like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Good
and-
start. Good start.
Yeah, and somebody talked me out of it. She's like, you don't know if he has like allergic reaction to it. And I'm like, you're right. Then there was some other like cat poop in all of his pockets.
Who's
Ooh.
cat though?
We have
Mike,
3
your
cats.
cat?
total.
Oh yeah, you
We have
do.
3
So you can
cats.
take
We
one
have
of
like
those.
unlimited resource.
Mm.
Or just cat poop underneath his bed or his couch. And yeah, Lucas gave me another one, like hand a piece of cheese in his clothes or something.
Yeah. Well, because what happened was when I was in college, I think it was maybe when me and my roommates were coming back from Thanksgiving break, that my roommate at the time, who I had a great relationship with, he asked me, he was like, can you go to Trader Joe's and just pick me up some cheese that I'll pay you back for, so that I could have that ready when I get home. I was like, sure. And so I bought him the cheese that he asked for, but then I saw like these like cheddar slices, and I thought, I'm gonna get those as well, and I'm just gonna slip them under his bedroom door. And the thing is, even though it was sealed, it like really stunk up the room.
Ew.
And he came into my room laughing but crying at the same time. He's like, Lucas, why'd you do this? I was like, I don't know. It seemed like a good idea. And And those like slices of cheese, that was just on my own dime. I just needed to do that.
I don't know about you guys. I've never been good at pranks. I feel like there was one April Fool's Day I tried to convince my mom that I had like accidentally gotten myself like accidentally onto a bus to New Jersey, and all she just said was, because I lived in New York, and
yeah.
It was like I took the wrong train or something, and I was like, Mom, shit, I don't know where I am. I think I'm in New Jersey. And she was just like, that's terrible. And I was like, well, you're right, and it's a lie. It's like hard when you're pranking only one person who's like on the receiving end of it and doesn't know there's no one in the background to laugh, like, and it's not even funny because it's just like your mother who loves you is concerned about your well-being. I just never knew how to prank people. I'm too earnest.
Oh, that's adorable. That's so cute. Did she please tell me that she like contacted a car service like, my daughter's lost in New Jersey, please bring her to Grand Central? Or just like,
I think, oh my god, imagine if it was Grand Central specifically, which was not even close to where we live. Like, bring her to Grand Central, like Serena and Gossip Girl. I want her to have a coming home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, Lee,
I like
did
the itch powder.
Yeah.
really
itch
like
powder
it
is a
too.
good idea.
I told Lee that my problem with the revenge fantasies was that I was like, this is such a toxic situation that I'm not eating or sleeping right, and I'm stressed out. And I was like, when we move into the new place, I don't want to hear anything from this person. I don't want to hear anything.
No
about
more of
this
your
situation.
guff.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, our last roommate, he's the kind of person, he's gonna bother you for a while and he'll go away no matter what. He's that kind of person. So whatever we do, unless we're not actually hurting him, it's gonna be fine. Maxim is just like, it's not that stressful, you know? He's like, I'm not eating well, I'm not sleeping well. I'm like, it's just a shitty dude. You just happen to live with him. Toughen up, buddy.
Toughen up, buddy.
Toughen up.
Ow.
I love how buddy was an afterthought. You were just like, I love you still. Just like
Toughen up, but don't get too tough, because I can't handle two of me.
And she finally settled on some revenge that I was okay with, which was
do tell.
Oh, he has an Alexa. So I left a
This is
voice
already good.
message. Yeah, I left a voice message for his birthday next year, because this year he spent his birthday alone. So this voice message for his birthday next year, he's gonna hear it 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's another birthday alone, huh?
It's great hearing it a second time.
That's the final thing. That's the thing I actually did. That was fun.
It's just gonna say another birthday alone, huh?
Yeah.
And then just cut out.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's fucking
Gabby,
genius.
Gabby, do you know the feeling of like when you just like see a dessert and you know immediately how delicious it must be? You know the feeling when you just see like a picture and you're like, oh, I want that. That's how I felt when she told me that, and I just had this like delicious feeling just coursing through my veins. I was just like, oh, this is good. I was just like,
it's
it felt
like the
amazing.
chocolate cake of revenge. See, that's real.
It is.
That's a real prank. That is a great prank.
It's pristine. It's very pristine.
And his birthday was probably 6 months away from that point we moved out. So
You're
it's
playing
so
a long
far
game.
in the
Yeah.
future that's like. And one thing he did was he was like, you know, if you guys move out without like taking care of like this or this, which are all bullshit things, but he was like, if you guys move out, I won't have any way to find you. And it was like, oh, well, why'd you tell us that? We're getting the fuck away from you?
You're just absolving us of any responsibility.
Yeah,
just...
exactly.
Also, what does he mean he won't have any way to... Does he not have social media? Like, not that
We
I want him to
block
find
him.
you.
We blocked
Oh my
him
God.
on
there you go.
everything. Because
He's like first
what's up.
account, second account, third account. He's like 5 or 6 Instagram account.
Dude, what is he, a hacker? Is he
he's
CIA?
he's got like production. He's got like personal and production.
He's James
and artist
Comey.
page, you know. Yeah.
He's like teenage rapper managing account and all that bullshit.
And then this story, I hope it's over, but the last update was that Lee and I were headed to a show. We were headed to Double Threat Comedy in Williamsburg with Shata and Ann Chun.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. They're both great people. We get off the G and we're walking through Williamsburg. And as we're getting to the venue, he rides by on a city bike straight at us at the on the sidewalk. And he was smiling, and I don't think he saw us.
He saw us. We locked eyes.
You locked eyes with
Yeah.
him? Oh my god.
He just drifted away. It's like he looked happy, and he made a decision not to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
he
my
didn't.
God.
He didn't stop or turn around.
So who's this pussy now?
Oh, he called me a pussy bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
Oh
called
my
Maxim a
God.
pussy ass bitch.
And then he told me that I need to keep Lee in check, and I said that's not my job.
Keep Lee
Good.
in what is this, the
Oh my
50s?
Yeah, he was. I was like.
I'm
I
so
honestly,
proud of you, Matt.
What is this, Lucas and my dynamic? Lucas keeps me in check.
Hey, shh, men are talking. Maxim.
That's
Oh my God.
crazy. I do like the profession of teenage rap manager.
Yeah.
It feels to me very like, you know those like TikTok houses that I'm sure in 20 years
The hype
we're all gonna
houses, yeah.
Hype houses. Yeah.
oh my god, we're all gonna find out that like terrible things went on in them and that they were like CIA fronts. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
just gonna be like the weirdest. I'm gonna write like a
It's like
fucking
Nexium went
movie
bankrupt
about
and they
one.
came back as a hype house under a new name.
I'm imagining we'll have like it's gonna be like, you know, when you hear stories of like bands in the 70s and the 80s and like Studio 54 and shit. I bet in 40 years we're gonna have stories of hype houses that are like that. Like, dude, we all lived in this hype house. We made TikToks, but secretly we were trafficking cocaine and child soldiers. Like,
I mean, the government would never expect it, but also I actually do think TikTok teens are too, like, not all of them, Lucas, no offense. I'm actually
I'm not a
you're
teen.
TikTok-
he's not a teen. Yeah.
I think many teenagers who are like content creators or whatever, like the Jake Pauls, are probably too stupid to properly traffic cocaine correctly. Just not to say I
Yeah.
know how to do it. I would fuck it up.
Unless they're like entrepreneur business TikTok kids.
Yeah.
Is that
Wait.
a thing?
Who are like,
Can
you
I-
want to make money fast around your high school? Here's your 10 tips to do it.
Can I tell you?
One, sell cocaine.
I need to confess something to you guys, something that happened literally just like a few hours before this. I was taking a walk in the park, and I had maybe the most narcissistic, egotistical thought I've ever had.
Ooh.
Let's hear it.
Oh.
So I was walking in the park, and I saw a girl, looked like she was probably a teenager, doing a TikTok dance, you know, all this shit, and like with like a phone laid down on the ground. And I was just like walking past her, and I literally, I'm ashamed to say this, but I literally thought, you have no idea that a blue check is walking right past you right now.
Tell that bitch, set the record straight.
You have no idea that a god walks amongst you, you peasant. Just like,
That's
Lucas,
like-
you would be the ultimate TikTok photo bomb. If you are in the background of someone else's TikTok and they don't even know it, amazing.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, on The Bachelorette this week, which I watched, and I will give one spoiler for
Okay.
anyone who hasn't seen it. There's a scene where two men in the house have drama with each other. They don't like each other. And one of the guys is like this like Harvard grad, just kind of American Psycho type. And the other one is this kind of younger, like Oklahoma guy. And they have a sit down that's prompted by The Bachelorette being like, I know you guys don't like each other, you've drama. And the Harvard guy says, okay, I'm going to make things right with Noah. And he hands this guy a present. And he says, okay, do you want me to open it and explain to you what's in this box, or do you want to open it? It's already creepy. And so the guy Noah is like, I think you can explain it to me if it's something that needs to be explained. So he opens the box, and he goes, this is a book on emotional intelligence. So here are the...
that's
Here are
amazing.
the components of emotional intelligence. It's like self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and like one other thing. He's like, you are deficient in 3 of these components. I think self-management is your best, and I think social awareness is your worst. And he just lectures him for like 30 minutes about this.
Oh my god.
And this episode this week ended on a cliffhanger where Tayshia, the Bachelorette, goes up to them and goes, "What's in that box?" So we're gonna find out next week if she thinks what he did was really creepy or not.
Oh my
I feel
god.
like you should have gone up to that TikTok teen and been like, "Okay, advice from a blue check. This is how."
Advice from someone who's made it. You're doing this all wrong. Oh my god.
Here's how you hit the whoa, okay?
Yeah, which I've never done. Just no. I did actually walk past someone. I think it was like two girls past like a coffee shop that I get coffee from sometimes, and they like stopped to like give me the look, but I had like my mask on and I wear glasses sometimes, so they didn't like recognize me or anything. And I thought, should I say something? And I thought, no, wait, what would I have to talk about? I want nothing with these people.
You just
It's
want to
like-
take your mask and your glasses off, do John Mulaney, and run out of the coffee shop.
Yeah,
Like, that's what you want.
exactly.
Like, yes,
The coffee
you're
person would be
right.
like, "Put your mask back on,
Yeah.
John." Max, I think you hit on something interesting when you were talking about like you're gonna know bad people, but it's hard to keep other people away from those people. It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever like worked with someone or something where just like everyone in your life is like, this person's kind of annoying. I don't like their vibe. I think they're kind of weird. I think they're shady. I don't think they're in this for the right reason. And at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
just have to learn the lesson on
Yeah.
your own.
Yep.
It's like
Yes.
you will go to the end of the earth to justify, oh no, this person only said this weird thing that put me down because they're insecure. Your friends are all like, and it happens in dating too. Your friends are all like, you blah blah blah, it's, whatever, like this person's not good enough for you, that you shouldn't be working with this person, you shouldn't be collaborating. You just learn it on your own eventually, and you just have to learn your own lessons in general. I don't
Absolutely.
know if this applies necessarily to like predators, but at the end of the day, you can only warn someone so much without, I don't know, coming across like, it almost becomes reverse psychology at some point. If you try and convince someone out of something for too long, they're just going to be like, well, now I want to do it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think
also,
it will. Yeah.
I think some people who see bad people, and sometimes they want to associate with those people because they themselves are also bad people, and they think, oh, me and this person both have a blatant disregard for like ethics in this category, and I can get what I want while being around them, and they can get what they want, and we can both be a problem together. And one thing I learned at my first job from a good friend of mine this friend, she has like wicked high emotional intelligence. Like that's her like superpower. And she could predict when people would quit because she was working really hard as director of HR to cultivate a more positive work culture. And the really toxic people can't survive in like cultures where everyone gets together and decides they want to be positive and move forward. Because the toxic people work by separating people and
Yes,
then like
that's
feeding
true.
off their energy. And if everyone sticks together and decides they want to make a positive change, the toxic people are like, oh, I can't manipulate anyone here or play to anyone's insecurity because we're all being held accountable for creating a better environment. And they like leave. And she would like call people out and be like, this person's going to quit. This person's going to quit. This person's going to quit. And it was incredible.
Wow.
So I think, and one thing that Lee always told me, I think this is a Jerry Seinfeld quote, but Lee would always say, like, comedy cleans itself.
Yes, that's what Jerry
Ooh.
Seinfeld said. Comedy will cleanse itself. So there are like many toxic people.
He did date a child.
He did date a
So I
child.
don't know
Yeah.
if that's true. Comedy
he
will
was
cleanse
like-
itself as long as my girlfriend does her homework.
Oh god. Yeah, he was like 30 and she was 17, was it?
Yeah. Yep.
I think she
Out
might have
on
been
red
younger.
carpets.
You know what?
Eesh.
Things are.
Oh my
I don't.
God.
I don't think that should have happened. It's fucked up. I will say, everything in life is. Jerry Seinfeld can have created a great show called Seinfeld and be a great comedian and have a lot of great quotes and still have done that. I don't know. That's my thought.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Whatever. Point being, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
things do cleanse themselves because I do think in general people notice toxicity eventually. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
That guy who you lived with, I mean, he's not
Yeah.
just gonna be able to get roommates again. Some shit's gonna happen because that's what those people like. feed
Oh
off of.
yeah.
But at the same time, something that I thought you guys were touching on, which is I think interesting is you can try to learn from other people's mistakes, and maybe like with people that you love, try to give them information that will save them from heartache or whatever, but you kind of have to let people within reason experience a little bit of pain in order to learn what they need to learn much more deeper. That it's not something you can save them from. You have to let them.
It depends on the person. Some people, they listen. They realize you come with good intentions instead of just pointing fingers, giving criticism. They open to ideas and suggestions. Then those are the people that you can give them more advice. But there are other kind of people that are like, they just think they are right. They're like, who are you? You don't understand me. So those people, they're going to be on their own journey. They'll figure it out or not.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think it's also very important to recognize which people who are not taking advice, they actually are crying out loud, actually silently for help. Sometimes some people, they are acting very strangely. They get defensive when you give them advice. But if you really, if you don't take that personally and just take a side and look at them, sometimes some people are looking actually for help. They just are not saying it. They're more like, you need to sense that you need to reach out to give them help, to drag them out of that swamp. So it's also, it's just very important for yourself to recognize how, whom, and when to give help. Depends.
That is a super good point. And it's like hard when, especially when you're the kind of person who wants to give people help all the time.
Exactly.
I feel like I fall into that sometimes because my mom was a therapist, and so it was just how I grew up. It was like, here, take advice. And sometimes it's like, you don't want advice. You don't want to fix the problem. Sometimes you just want to complain about a problem. I have that issue all the time. I want to fix the problem. My girlfriend will be like, ugh, I'm annoyed about work. I'm like, well, why don't we just apply you for a new job and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I just wanted to bitch about this. Like, I didn't want to solve it. It's not going to get done overnight.
We have the same problem. When I have people in my life who are hurt, I actively now say to myself, no advice. No advice. You can say anything except advice. And
that's good.
What sucks about it, though, is if someone tells me something bad happened to them, I go, that really sucks. I'm sorry. Let me know if you want to talk.
You can hear your own heart breaking, like, I want to say something, but I can't.
Yeah, I'm like, there are so many people that I've been friends with who would just do stupid shit and just get involved with dumb people, and I'd be like, literally the answer is right here, but that's like my answer. So I know it creates more frustration in people, so I try not to offer solutions anymore.
Maxim, but if everybody is like that, the world would be even a colder place than it already is.
Now, okay, when I say that really sucks, I'm sorry. That is
You're
me
like,
saying I feel bad for you.
You're like, I could help you. I could have said something, but I don't want you to hate me, so I'm gonna watch you fall to that bottomless shitty hole, and I'm like, oh, and after
the whole time I'll scream, "Damn, that's crazy!"
Damn,
that's crazy. You're covered in shit and piss. That's crazy. I wish I could have said something, but you know what? I don't want you to hate me. Rather than that, I'd prefer to watch you covered in shit and piss. I don't stand by that. I just want to
covered in shit and piss, and all the while you're just.
I will absolutely let someone get covered in shit and piss until they want advice on how to not be covered in shit and piss. Because some people get covered in shit and piss, and they just want to talk about the shit and piss they're covered in. They don't necessarily want you to clean it off
You
for
can
them.
tell now who's going to the good place already.
It's
you
me.
know who's
All
trying
right?
to reach out to help people, not being selfish. Lucas, if I'm watching you go into a toilet that's full of shit and piss, I'm gonna try everything to stop you, even though you're gonna end up hating me. But I'm like, if I can stop you, I'm gonna do that.
Well, you are an excellent
and Maxim
enforcer.
would just say thank you for being vulnerable with me. I appreciate it.
I will say, Lucas, I just want to say that toilet is covered in shit and piss if you don't enjoy your experience, let me know if you want to talk.
But me, if I helped you beforehand, afterwards, I would be like, you know what? I told you so.
She
But
does.
Lee, I
give you
really
told you.
admire
But
you
I'll
for
give you.
that.
I'll give you food to make you feel better.
I
Yes,
remember
that'll always
one of
work.
the last of your mics I was at, like somebody heckled like another comedian, and you just turned to them and you were like, don't heckle him.
Yeah.
And it was so, I feel like me as a host, I would just, eventually I would say something, but I would first like just really hope the problem went away by itself. But you are so not like that, and I've always really admired it, honestly.
Yeah.
No,
At our mic now, I don't think anybody heckles, but because
somebody heckled just last time.
well, but it's like a lot of times
somebody
it's,
we know.
It's like we know everybody so well, and everyone's so comfortable that a lot of times if it's like a heckle, it's like a friendly like back and forth. It's not like it's not terrible.
It's not supposed to happen, neither.
I'm okay with it.
I'm not. People are here to try material. Their time. They have enough time. They have certain amount of time. Don't let other people to waste their time.
Okay, I'll just next time I'll shut it down, but then we can argue between comedians.
ooh, I like that.
That's nice.
Get a
fair.
glimpse behind the curtain.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can like just push them into our bathroom and lock the door. Figure it out.
And the toilet in the bathroom is covered in shit and piss.
Yeah.
One
Yep.
of you will say, "Don't enjoy yourself in there," and the other one will be like, "Let me know. I'm gonna help you." God damn it.
There is something I wanted to ask you guys. When we had Dan Frank, the great Dan Frank, on the podcast,
Shout out.
Love him.
shout out to him. He mentioned that he had started seeing someone new, which is very exciting. But I asked him before this lovely gentleman who he was seeing, what were some things that he found attractive when first meeting someone who he was dating? So, in short, how would one woo Dan Frank? What are some things that would really just like really attract him? So I ask both of you, what are some qualities, vibes, something that you find attractive when first meeting someone, and how are each other unique from everybody else you've dated before?
Do you want to go first, Lee?
I think she does. I think she's raring to go first.
First of all, I don't trust this. I don't believe this first sight thing, because I only decided to remember his name until the fourth time I met him. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, you look nice. After so many times, your niceness is consistent. I'm gonna decide. And I was like, his name's Maxim. I've never heard such name before. I was like, what's your name? He's like, Maxim. I was like, what's your name? He's like, Maxim. I'm like, how do you spell it? He's like, Maxim. I'm like, what the fuck is that? How do you say it again? I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm almost like an ignorant racist. Like, how do you say it? How do you spell it? Can you say it again?
What is this name in your culture? It's white people culture.
It's this all the mayonnaise and the pronunciation. It's just throwing me off.
Yeah. But Maxim, you can tell he's not a stupid person.
He's very smart.
Yeah,
Yes,
so I
course.
just cannot deal with people who are stupid. And some people, there are certain time people, it's like lots of people are stupid. And lots of people who don't think they're stupid have their stupid moments, so it's okay. But there are certain kind of people, they're too stupid. They don't even know not to pretend to not to be stupid.
So what do you like in a person, Lee?
Not stupid. Just smart. And
Okay.
yeah, uniqueness. You're a very...
I like this already. Where is
I'm
this
so
going?
excited.
You're a very, very, very good white boy.
Aww.
You're like very woke and in the right way instead of like just like phony. There are so many people who are so phony. I just can't tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Maxim
lovely.
is very nice. Like, and his mom loves him. And I love that. I heard his mom calling him on the phone. His mom is like, "Happy birthday, honey. I love you." The tone, I'm like, I don't know that town exists. Other places other than movies. You know, do you really fucking talk about that's cute? I mean, sorry for cursing, but
It's fine.
but his mom just sent him messages like, "Honey, I think you're smart, handsome, funny, thoughtful. Just want to tell you that." I'm like, just like you need to.
So that's hot to you when someone's mom loves them.
Yeah. It's very important for somebody to have a good relationship with their mom, but not too much.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
My best friend, her brother, is dating some girl who's decided arbitrarily that she doesn't like her family. And I'm like, that is the golden rule. Like,
Whoa.
I'm almost like Italian in that way. I'm not Italian, but it's like if someone badmouths the family, like, it's over on the spot, you know? So close to the family, I think, is it's a big thing. It's a big personal value.
So
Definitely.
I would say my
He's
answer.
gonna say something nice.
My answer
Boo!
is
Just kidding.
Boo, you whore.
So yesterday was actually our 1-year anniversary of dating, which is very exciting. And I told Lee this, and this kind of goes against typically what I'm into, but when she first walked into Buka and I saw her, I wasn't like attracted to her, but I did have this feeling that spiked up in me that was like, you have to know this person. This person is important somehow. And
Oh my
I didn't.
God.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this girl. Yeah, it was like, it was this like, this weird. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was like this like compelling emotional feel. And she went up and she bombed and she did a Donald Trump impression. And
That was the most beautiful shift from oh my god.
And the thing is like I believe when I host open mics and I have stuff going on that I'm in charge of, I want it to be open and welcoming, and I want people to have fun and feel like they're wanted there. And like I went up to her after she got done performing. It was like her 5th open mic ever. And I said, "Hey, I really liked your Donald Trump impression. We do this every night. You should come back and like hang out. This is a great place to practice." And then that was like the first time we like talked briefly.
Yeah,
And
when he said that to me, I was like, I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? What are you up to?
Totally.
And so
Totally.
we kind of saw each other at like a couple other places, and like we didn't really talk or say hi or anything. And then finally at Buka one night, she like finally kind of was like, "What was your name again?" And I like told her, like she said, and she was like, "I didn't." And then later she's like, "I didn't learn your name until like the 4th time we met." And I was like, "No, you decided to learn my name the 4th time we met." But like one thing that I liked about her is as we became friends over the next like several months, is she's very reasonable. Like what I like in a person is I can be like very I'm very like vulnerable and genuine to everybody, and I just like I have
Very
no
vulnerable.
ill intention at all. And so when I talk to people and I like them or I think they're interesting or cool, and I can just be myself and they just like get it and they're like, "Oh yeah, this guy's cool, he's just fine." Like I like that. And so like me and Lee, like we would do an open mic and we'd go outside and we ended up talking for like an hour or two. Like, you know, when you do that thing where you're like, "Okay, I'm taking this train. Oh, I'm walking this way." And then you stand on
Yes.
the corner between and you talk for like an hour.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
like a lot of that. And Lee is the type where if she's like upset about something or annoyed at something, we can discuss and I'll be like, "Oh, like this is actually like this. You shouldn't take that personally or something." And she'll just think about it and be like, "Oh yeah, I think you're right." Like we have like very good like not admitting defeat, but like just open discussion and communication. So
What he's trying to
That's
say
beautiful.
is, I don't get defensive when he calls me out on my bullshit. You can just summarize in that.
yeah. But yeah, so it's like I like people. Like I always say, my 3 things in people is I only hang out with kind, genuine, funny people, and those are the 3 that I adhere to across the board. And so like at our mic, like when people come, all the people that are there meet all 3 of those. And it makes me feel like really good because I'm like, you go into stand-up comedy and you're like, oh yeah, people are going to cover me in shit and piss and it's going to be really hard. But like the truth is you can foster a community of people and friends that get you and create a fun space to do comedy and perform and be yourself.
I believe that that's true. I also think it's crazy. I feel like at the beginning when I started doing stand-up, I was like adhering to this mentality of like, oh yeah, like at the end of the day, maybe we're pretending to be friends, but we're all gonna be competing with each other because that's what I heard on fucking TV, right? And that's what. But as it turns out, literally, it is to your advantage as a comedian to be genuine friends with the people around you. It costs you, I mean, if they're nice, which most people are, it costs you $0 and 0 cents, and it's like it helps your life as a person.
Exactly.
And there's no reason why collaborators shouldn't be friends.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Lucas and I are friends.
Yeah.
And
Are we friends?
You're growing on me. You're growing on me.
You're just
thank
two
God.
meerkats in adjacent holes. That's it.
I'm just a meerkat standing in front of a meerkat asking him to be in my adjacent hole.
That sounds like the most elaborate euphemism for something sexual. Can I just say, not to ever like go too far in the future, but I'm just saying it would be hilarious if you two got married and at the altar Lee was like, I take the, what's your name again?
Can you spell it for me?
Okay, spell it for me.
She'd do something where she would be at the reception and go to give like a little speech, and she'd be like, I hate all the stupid people, just so many stupid people. I hate them. They're so dumb. And be like, Lee, today is a joyous day.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Okay, on that note, should we go to audience submissions?
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
think we should.
This
Indeed.
is I've been wanting to say this.
This is my
real
favorite
quick.
part.
Oh,
before
please
we
go right ahead.
Okay, this is something I've been wanting to tell you, Gabby, but I wanted to save
Okay.
it for the podcast. And this is
Oh, I'm so excited.
This is so stupid, but I want you to
scared.
know that in my head, I call you GJB, like you're. Like,
Wait, I like that because that's how I sign off my emails.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, how can I seem artistic but organized?
I like.
And so I put GJB in my signature with my phone number.
Nice. That it
Oh
just
my
like
God.
it clicked for me. I'm like, oh yeah, it's GJB in the house. Like,
GJB, reading the audience submissions.
Yeah, like
Notorious
your-
GJB.
like I don't even know what Ruth Bader Ginsburg initials are anymore. Because when I listen to this podcast, I think GJB.
Yeah, whenever she's on, oh, R.I.P. So sad.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that was my
So-
dumb note. Let's get to listeners.
Well, thank you so much, M.A. Not to be confused with Young M.A., the rapper.
Not to be confused with Master of Arts.
Okay, so someone writes in drama gossip. The guy I have feelings for was on campus this semester. He hooked up with another girl from my hometown, which besides my heart low-key breaking a little bit when I heard, wouldn't be a problem at all if she didn't have a boyfriend of 2.5 years. Well, I guess it's more accurate to say she had a boyfriend because she dumped him to be with the guy I'm into after only a couple weeks of hooking up with him. It's wild. About this girl, though, she's super toxic, emotionally manipulative, and homophobic and biphobic. Probably transphobic too, but that's just a guess. And he's admitted to finding me more attractive than her. Not that he has feelings for me. He doesn't know how he feels ever. But he said he finds me more attractive, which I still count as a win. He really wants to end things and go back to being just friends with her. But he's also scared because he's a coward and he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, so he's sort of just friend-zoning her after hooking up with her. Getting updates from him about this is hilarious. Here's the real kicker, though, or at least what I think is the real kicker. I'm bisexual, and I wasn't even on campus with them. She hooked up with him multiple times, and I've only seen him in person since March, but I'm the one he finds more attractive. The lesson, biphobia and homophobia will always come back to bite you in the ass, so will being toxic, emotionally manipulative, and a cheater, but karma likes to add a little flair when it's homophobia or biphobia. Okay, this...
Wait, so she got the guy in the end?
I think she got the guy's attention and attraction. That's what I think that's what she's saying. Is that this
I'm
guy is
really
just more...
put off by the sentence, he doesn't know how he feels ever.
Yes.
Yeah, when she said that, all I'm thinking is, oh, this dude and that toxic girl, they deserve each other. They sound both a little bit manipulative. Just a little bit, at least. Like,
Sounds like
I don't
to
like them.
me. I'm like, I don't even know this. Like, the other girl is really so toxic, or the person who submitted this just hate this girl because of the dude.
Yeah,
It's
I was
like, are
thinking
you
the same
hating
thing.
another woman because of a man? It sounds like so, you know?
Yeah, I didn't hear any of the allegations of biphobia and homophobia.
I know,
I
right?
I
Yeah.
would believe them, but maybe it was something as simple as, like,
Yeah.
she said the F slur. It's like, I don't know, maybe she was on
Yeah.
ketamine at a Kim Petras concert and a gay man gave her a pass. Like,
no, evidence relies on the prosecution. You need to cite your sources, you know?
I will
Chicago
say, though,
or MLA style.
And this person clearly like if this person is here, I'm like, are you still in college? Like, somebody, it sounds like somebody needs some more homework. You know, it's like
so true. Here's our advice: do your homework. Don't even
Yeah.
worry about this.
yeah,
Lee's gonna
And if you're
Chinese
done,
parent the
get more
listeners.
homework.
get more homework, or just like study more, take another lesson, do some volunteering job. Like, boys are boring. Just like your life is gonna be so much happier without this toxic boy. This boy is himself. You know, just kick him out.
I would say I agree. And my thing is, college boys that don't know how they feel ain't shit, okay? If he doesn't know how he feels, at best, you guys are going to have sex and then have a weird, sometimes hookup friendship.
Clearly, this
And-
boy thinks nobody else but himself. It's
Yeah.
like, what do I want? What do I want? It's just like, grow the fuck up. You're not in high school anymore. You cannot be a
Yeah.
fuckboy anymore. Just grow the fuck up, boy.
And to the writer, I would say, I think there's some validation things here. Like the idea of like wanting this guy even like because he deems you more attractive than the girl he's with and taking that as a win. It's like you're competing against someone when you should be like ships in the night to this woman and just be like, you know what, she can do her thing. Like, you might think this dude is really cute, but if he doesn't know how he feels, you're not going to end up in a stable
Yeah.
relationship with him. And you're not going to, the situation doesn't benefit you in any way except giving you something to do while you're in college.
Listen to me. If this girl is listening, you know, what I would tell you to do is next semester take Italian 101 or 102, then take another semester to do study abroad, go to Italy. There are a bunch of really cute fuckboys there. Then you can come back. They treat you like you're the best treasure. Then you
Just
like
live out the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
you know, just boys are. They're gonna have a beer belly very soon. You know, just.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. The whole thing really read like a Taylor Swift song. to me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how he feels. It's like, you know what? Then he's not gonna love you, and that's the truth, and that's the honest truth.
Yeah.
All I was
From
thinking was
us.
it doesn't sound like, almost apart from the person writing in, it sounds like no one has any self-awareness.
Yes.
That's all I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
like, these people have no idea how immature they all sound.
This is just
And-
3 Beyblades in a bathtub. This is nothing. There's no direction here.
Just like delete
sounds
all
like
the
such
Taylor
an old-
Swift song from your playlist. Add some Beyonce in there. It's gonna change your life and get more.
This isn't a
homework.
bit. Yeah, we're empowering you, listener. I'm so sorry about this man. He ain't shit.
He ain't shit.
You know what? Maybe the girl is toxic, but like, you've given me no evidence to believe it, other than that she's someone you don't like. She might be transphobic, but you don't know for sure, and even you
Yeah.
admitted you don't know for sure. Like, it's probable she's toxic. People don't just make up that people are homophobic, but let it go.
The writer
Let
also
people-
mentioned that she was bi, I believe, so that maybe there's like something implied that's something that this girl said to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe
Maybe.
there's some kind of microaggression that's like
I'm reaching. I'm
like-
really reaching, though.
But I would
I
say
mean, you
also
have to.
for
There are
like
lots of very important details got left out in that message. If you want to accuse
Yeah.
somebody, you really should like
Exactly.
give some thing to support your point.
What if we just become the new Judge Judy?
yeah, right. I
We
think,
become the podcast version of Judge Judy.
I think it would be fun if we just took like documents from like civil court cases or whatever, like nothing serious, not like murder, but we just like looked at
Nothing serious. All the murder
will-
cases that end up in civil court. Family court. A murder trial in family court.
Yeah, he murdered my husband, but I'm only suing over like the property damage. I think it was a little.
he
a little
murdered
much.
my husband, but I really don't like his biphobia. Like
I'm suing him in civil court for the biphobia. Judge Judy's like, what's biphobia? What's bisexuality?
Vote
just
Mike
heard about
Bloomberg.
Oh
I would
man.
I would also say for the college students who are caught up in some nonsense like this, just join a club with one of your interests and you will meet people that will actually like you for you and you won't have to deal with this.
Do an open mic.
Do an open
Yeah.
mic.
Although stand-up
Do
comedian
one-
men also don't know how they
Do an open mic hosted by a hazed freshman at a new fraternity.
Yeah.
join a fraternity. Be the first woman in a fraternity.
There
Yeah.
you go.
If they don't let you, they're biphobic.
Okay, I have another submission.
Okay.
Here it is. Not a phobia, but I've been told this is very weird. When
hate
I was a
bi
kid,
people. Just kidding.
written into executive producer Dick Wolf, just the end. Okay. Not a phobia, but I've been told this is very weird. When I was a kid, I sometimes had trouble sleeping, as kids do. I used to imagine a scenario where I needed to pretend to be asleep. What scenario? Question mark. I used to imagine that there was a killer in the room with me watching me sleep. The story went like this. A killer came in and killed both my parents. He didn't realize there was a child, me, in the house. He goes into my room and realizes there might have been a weekends? What? Okay. He goes into my room
A
and
weakness, do they mean?
Maybe?
What's the rest of the sentence?
Okay, he said he goes into my room and realizes there might have been a weekends. If I pretended to be asleep well enough, he'd think I never saw him and he'd leave me alive. Maybe a little fucked up. So I guess this is something that a listener used to soothe themselves to sleep.
It sounds
with
like they're
the threat of
panicking
murder.
themselves into sleep. They're like,
Yeah.
if I don't sleep, I'll die. It's like that whole thing you do on the sidewalk where it's like, if I don't fit my feet perfectly into these tiles, the world will end.
This person doesn't sound like this person doesn't love the parents a lot. It's like, think about this. You imagine your parents being killed over and over again, just so you can put yourself into sleep. You know, some hot milk can help. Some weed. Some NyQuil, you know? You don't need to imagine your parents are being brutally murdered to put yourself into sleep. That's a little bit like too much even for me.
Do you think that the child should have been given weed instead? Or do you think... I agree with hot milk, but weed and NyQuil are...
We're
definitely
just
something to
asking
go
you
for
be
when you're,
clear,
like-
Lee. We're just asking for clarity.
You know, like some people they used to like they rub a little bit alcohol like vodka on their baby's gum.
Oh, I've heard
Oh,
about
yeah, yeah.
this, yes.
Yeah, like weed probably not, because kids they don't know how to smoke weed, so it's gonna be a waste.
Dumbass
It's gonna be a
kids.
waste.
Just give
They
them
keep puffing too much, those
yeah,
dumbasses.
some brownies, just some edibles.
Oh, God.
Like weed is not harmful technically. You just are not supposed to intoxicate.
For the younger listeners, do not ever give someone marijuana without their consent and without their knowledge.
Yes. Thank you for the disclaimer. Oh,
So
my
the
God.
point is of this one, it's not that it's weird, it's just maybe instead of imagining, death to get you to sleep, you could just try hot milk.
Yeah.
Because hot milk
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I also
I love the.
But if you wake up in the morning and imagine your parents are dead in bed for like 1 minute, then you're gonna appreciate your parents even more when you come back to the reality. So instead of imagining your parents are dead, you can imagine your parents are dead. Like at night, you can do that in the morning. Then you're gonna appreciate your parents more. It's gonna change your life.
why
So the hot milk at night, meditation for your parents' death in the morning, life changer.
I immediately thought, what would happen if the parents didn't turn up? And I realized we just wrote Home Alone.
yeah.
Wow.
my
This is how the sausage gets made.
my thing is with this listener is why would you not imagine a better scenario like, oh, if I don't fall asleep, then Santa Claus won't visit my house because I'll be awake. Or
Because
something.
Santa is not real, duh.
Lee, how dare you say that to our listeners? Santa is real. Santa is real. Be good for the rest of the year. He is coming. He can't get
Yeah.
COVID.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa's immune. Wait, I never do this mid-pod, but I do have to pee really bad, so I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
There was
Wait for Gabby.
are we gonna
No,
pause
you
and
can
wait
say
for
it. It's
Gabby?
okay.
Okay. When
No,
I was
keep
in
going.
when I was in first grade, we had to write our own fairy tale stories, and I wrote basically Jack and the Beanstalk, pretty much, but with the main character as me, who I renamed myself to Ash, like Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, and
You mean Ashley?
Ashley Ketchum.
You named yourself Ashley.
No, I named myself Ash, and my story started with, my name is Ash, and both my parents are dead. Because I didn't
Wow.
want to write stories for the parents. I didn't want to have those plot lines. I just wanted to get through the assignment. And then when I turned it in the next day, my teacher sat me down with my parents and was like, why are both of your parents dead in this story? And I was like, I'm just lazy. I didn't want to write them in. It's an easier arc if my parents are dead. I don't know.
That reminds me. Oh my god.
That's fast.
You came
that
in hot, Gabby. You
That was
slammed
very
table.
rapid.
I literally did a speed pee. It was like...
No, so Maxim just told us a very sweet story about writing a lazy fairy tale involving himself in which his parents are dead.
In
and
first
then
grade.
in first grade. But that reminded me that when I was in third grade, we had this program where we would sort of like mentor, sort of like be big brothers and sisters to like kindergartners. And we went over to this preschool and we were given these like stories that these kids had written. And they had all written stuff about like fictional superheroes. And one of them was about Batman. This kid wrote a story about Batman. And towards the end, I remember it said, Batman got shot and fell in the water fountain and then he died. But then he got better.
Beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Hemingway was once challenged to write the saddest story he could think of in very few words.
And that child
Batman.
was Christopher Nolan.
Feel old yet?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, I've got another one pulled up. I don't know if we did another one just now.
We didn't.
but-
Let's do one more. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a trans woman who's fairly along her way with her transition. Congratulations. Recently, I've had a flare-up of dysphoria. It's been a strange feeling because I kind of assumed a few years into my transition that would have died out for good. Anyways, I've been feeling better recently, and the other day I caught a glance at my own tits and felt good about them. So much so that it almost turned me on a little bit. Not in a sexual way, but in a feeling yourself kind of way. I don't know if that's a trans thing, a woman thing, or just some straight weirdness that leaked out of my brain. Also, for reference, I looked like if a young Ellen DeGeneres had a baby with Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, I'm sure that's not true. People always think they look some kind of weird way. I think I look like Eugene Levy, but hot, and I don't know.
I think
People don't...
I think Eugene Levy is a very handsome fella. I think you could do a lot worse.
He's got some silver foxness to him, for
Yeah.
sure.
Gabby,
Also, Eugene Levy, but hot, is Dan Levy. I just
Yeah.
now.
I would say that comparison is fair, but it's not negative.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, I understand. It's the brows. My girlfriend had a dream the other night that she made out with Dan Levy.
Oh,
and
wow.
she was like, he kept being like, she was like, are you sure you're not gay? And he was like, no, I don't think so. I really like.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's very, very cute.
It's so sweet that she was like looking out for him, like, "Are you sure you want this right now?" Like, I'm not a dude. And he's like, "No, I'm into it. I like you."
What a consensual dream. But to this woman, I do think it's possible to get turned on by your own boobs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's necessarily a trans thing or a woman thing. I just think it's maybe a great boobs
Yeah,
thing.
or just like finally seeing yourself the way you want to see yourself. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah,
It's great.
I wouldn't say I had like but I wouldn't say I was like, but I remember when I went on Accutane and my skin finally cleared up and I could see what I looked like. I wasn't like turned up, but I got really excited for how I looked. And so I would never compare that to this woman's experience, but I totally think it makes sense to finally see an inkling of what you the way you see yourself inside actually represented outside, that you would get really excited and jazzed up about it. That makes complete sense to me.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a
It was
wonderful
like
thing.
it was like when I cut my high school bangs. It was. It's like there's a. I was
I
like,
want to see those bangs. Now, did you look like if Ellen DeGeneres married Alvin and the Chipmunks
oh
with the
no,
bangs?
no. That's okay. Those two characters together. I spent a good minute in my head trying to figure out what that combination looks like, and I just ended up with a chipmunk with blonde hair dancing on a table. I'm like, what is this? What are these?
This is the future liberals want.
Yeah, exactly. I can't put together what that looks like, but I'm sure you're a very attractive person, and I'm happy you're feeling yourself.
Yeah.
And you should rock that confidence and ride it as long as you can.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Time to get some new bras. It's gonna make you so much happier. Even you're gonna enjoy your tits even more.
Yeah,
That's
what's
having
up.
comfy bras is where it's at,
Yes.
for sure.
And highly recommend Fenty Savage. You're gonna be like, thank you, Rihanna. Buy it.
Wouldn't it be great if they sponsored the pod, Fenty Savage? That would be wonderful.
Oh
Whoa.
yeah, that would be so.
What if we just pretended
Goals.
they sponsored us until they actually
Yeah, this episode is
sponsored
brought to you by Rob and Rihanna Fenty of Fenty Savage. And
Lee
they paid us handsomely.
Lee bought I think a bra and a onesie from them, and she wore the onesie straight for 2 weeks, and then we got her another onesie, and that's what she's wearing now, and she hasn't stopped wearing it.
Aww.
So
It's really, really cute.
It's a
It's
very
really
sweet.
comfy.
it
It's
has
really warm.
Ears
It
too.
looks very warm.
It's very warm.
For listeners who are not watching on YouTube, watch on YouTube. But if you're just a listener, it's sort of is it a corgi?
Yes.
It's a corgi onesie. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very
And-
sweet.
The
very
the
warm.
design has a really low crotch, so her legs look like little corgi legs. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's really. I was wondering where that sentence was going, but it's good.
It has a really low crotch for her ginormous penis.
Maxim,
Aw.
you know, my penis is your penis, and your penis is enormous. It's not enormous.
That was a Freudian slip.
I am so lost right now. My penis
Is it or
your
isn't it?
penis.
'Cause I can see both sides.
My
I don't-
penis is your penis, and your penis is not enormous. That is.
So I don't have an enormous penis in my crotch and in my onesie, but your penis is just, it's fine, you know? Your pee is fine.
It sounds like she's talking down to me, but I will humbly say I
It's
am
a
about to straight man defend my penis on a podcast.
Maxim, you're more than your penis. You also have things like personality.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say you also have things like balls.
Maxim, we're
You're
having
more than your penis.
we're
You
doing
also
such a
have
rap
balls.
for such a bad rap for straight people. Stop talking about your penis.
I am a well-rounded young man.
That sounds like something
red
your
meat,
mom
or
says
maybe-
about you. He is a well-rounded young man.
My penis
Go
is
Max.
a sphere.
Is that what his mom was calling him about? Like, happy birthday, listen, you have a pretty good penis, I need you. And I have to say, I endow you, and you were well endowed from the time you came out of the womb.
I feel like
Oh God.
I have a story that I'll share later, but I don't think it's appropriate for this recording.
Oh my God, you are tantalizing the audience right now.
I think, Lucas, you heard this story when you came to the second rooftop open mic we did, and we all did the second round of jokes.
I thought we were gonna talk about it later.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Never mind. All right, never
Okay.
mind.
Well, now we're just on the edge of our
Okay.
stance,
Yeah.
though.
Let's talk about your
Okay,
inappropriate.
jeez, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but when I was in college, a female friend of my friend group asked for dick pics from all of my friends, and she wanted to see who had the best just out of pure sport, and I won. So, I will defend my
That's
penis.
a great story.
Because-
That's actually amazing.
Because Lee talking to me like it's fine makes me feel like it's like, oh, that means I have like a little tiny penis, and you're like, it's fine.
No,
Like,
dude, if you have a little tiny penis, I'm gonna tell you you have a little tiny penis, okay?
She is blunt. She would
Yeah.
she would absolutely. The first time you guys got together, she would have been like, "That's too small. I'm sorry."
Yeah, I will let you
Yeah.
know,
it's not
dude.
just fine. It is a competition of 5 people winning. Fine.
Does
5
Lee
people,
seem
that's
like
a
the person
big
who would
margin.
just like tell you whatever you want to hear? No, that's not
Okay,
Lee.
Maxim, I'm
actually-
just gonna
That's
start to
true.
call you in the future good sport.
Good
From
sport.
now on, you're the good sport.
I have to, when I'm feeling down, I have to talk Lee into giving me compliments sometimes. I'm just like, just
Aw.
tell me I'm funny. Just tell me I matter, please. Like, and then she does. But I don't ask for that all the time. Only sometimes.
This is actually a good transition into
Yes.
self-perception corner.
Absolutely. I'm so glad. So,
Okay.
do you
guys
guys
have heard this?
do you guys know the format? Okay.
Yes.
So, how do you think you are perceived by other people?
All right, the library is open. Lee,
The library is
You go
open.
first.
me go first? Ugh, I just talked a bunch. Okay. I guess
I have a good pee-pee.
I think like to people I know, I think I'm perceived as a very caring, like open, friendly person who is very like supportive. And I think though also I give off the air of being kind of more distant. Like I kind of have a like when I talk to people in like group situations, sometimes at a party I'll talk to someone for a little bit and then I'll just kind of let it die down because I don't want to overwhelm them. And then I come off as awkward or standoffish, but I don't know if that's just me reading too far into the situation.
Yeah, that's just you.
So, yeah. And then, like, I'm sure, like, as creatives, I feel like we all have this voice in our head that's like, you're nobody, you're nothing, none of your projects matter, nothing is going to be a success. And that's like the evil side of like my self-consciousness. That's like, you're weird, you're uncomfortable, like people don't like you, you're not going to make it. And that's kind of, you know, like if I had to do that challenge on Drag Race where it's like, do drag for your positive voice and do drag for your negative self voice. That would be the negative self voice. It's like, you're nothing. All your projects suck.
Your pee-pee is just okay.
So yeah, I guess that's my self-perception. I just feel like it's a bounce between like, I know I'm a good friend and I'm a good person for a lot of people. But the flip side of that is like, but do I really matter? Am I just like weird out here and just not, I don't know.
That's Maxim's existential crisis for today. Sorry,
Interesting.
Sorry, is that me?
No, it's okay. You're good.
Okay.
No, it's good.
Lee
I think
roasts
that-
me. Lee, our whole relationship, she just roasts me and then goes, "Is that mean?" She just follows me around going, "Was that mean? Is that mean? I'm sorry. Is that mean?"
I can picture that very easily.
That is so cute.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Gabby, do you
Maxim,
want to...
I think that's I'm gonna go first because I know you slightly less well than Lucas does. I think that's interesting that you say that because I feel like when I first met you, you kind of seem like the person who like what you see is what you get. Like you seem like kind of open and like, so it kind of matches what you said. You seem very open, pretty honest. Like, you're just like a guy who's here to have fun and make people happy, make people laugh. But then I feel like as I got to know you slightly, like, I do see, like, you are sometimes self-conscious, but not in a way where it's like, oh, I'm cringing because you're so self-conscious.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like I see in you, like, a desire to be good.
Yeah.
And, like, not like a comedy or whatever, but a desire to just be a good person.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my background's, like, crazy
Yeah.
right now.
You're disappearing at the Indian restaurant. Gabby.
My voice is just gonna fade away. But, yeah, it's like I see you as someone who takes a lot of care into how he is and maybe how he's perceived. Maybe not in necessarily always like a self-conscious way, but just in a way where it's like I hope this person doesn't think I'm being rude or coming off that way, and I just hope you know that you never are.
Okay.
Like, you're always just coming off as just like a nice guy.
Okay,
you know?
that's such a relief to hear. Because I feel like I do care about what people think of me, because throughout like elementary, middle, and high school, I had a lot of like trauma happen, like a lot of weird situations growing up, and I felt like for me, I kind of retreated into like playing a lot of video games, and I listened to like a lot of like really heavy music, and like when I was in high school, like I was so into metal. And for me, metal, for a lot of people, especially like extreme metal, like black metal and grindcore and stuff, they at that age especially, they're like, that's just fucking weird. But for me, I'm like, this is just art. Like, are you scared of just art? It's all theatrics. Like, it doesn't matter. But because I was always wearing band shirts and like into like weird, crazy shit, I always felt like in hindsight, it's like I excluded myself from everyone else, because I was like, this is just art. Why do you care? Like, I'm just the same person. This is just what I like. But in actuality, when people see you and they see you wearing some gory ass like band shirt, they're less likely to want to just talk to you. They don't perceive you as like an emotionally intelligent person. And that took me a long time to figure out. So like I had a lot of very like weird, cringy, trying to find myself stuff happen. And it wasn't until I was like probably 21 that I kind of was like, or maybe even younger, maybe like 20, that I kind of emerged as the person I am now. So I look back on like my growing up like weirdness and uncomfortability with myself and how people perceived me, and like I like overcorrect, I think.
Show him more validation and recognition, people.
So if I may chime in, something that I initially thought, but it became more and more solidified, is that you are someone that very much, I think you see yourself as part of something much larger, and I think a large part of your energy is devoted to serving the people around you.
Yeah.
And
Lee always tells me I'd be a good communist.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. You'd be a great cog in the machine, is what I'm saying. But yeah, no, you are. It's very. This is gonna sound weird, but like my grandmother, her whole life. No, I promise you, it's gonna come out worse than it's in my head. But my grandmother was constantly a host, and she was evacuated, like, Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, those kids that were evacuated in World War II. That was my mom, my grandmother. She was evacuated in World War II, but she was always taking care of kids around her. She then had 4 kids, and just like her whole life, she was just always in the role of taking care of people, being a good host, providing a place to stay for people that maybe were down on their luck. And I see just like a similar spark of that energy, and you're always trying to like provide a nice environment for people to feel safe and comfortable and cheerful in.
Yeah, that's definitely like accurate. And what's hard is like balancing the outward energy versus the inward energy.
Yes.
Like giving others and giving to yourself.
100%.
Because like sometimes when you don't give to yourself enough, you start to feel a little bit resentment that you've given so much to other people, and you don't feel that coming back sometimes. And that's not something I harbor. Like, it's just like, where do I draw this line to take care of myself? And like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm very much like, I went through a lot of hard times like growing up, and my whole thing was like keep myself together so I can like respond to a situation, whatever happens. Like I'm the type of person, if you call me at 2 a.m, I will answer and drop everything for whatever you need. Like I always text back as soon as possible. Like it's like such a survival type instinct. And like we were like pretty poor for a long time, and one of my goals in life was like I'm going to be financially stable because like it's safe. And like I read something, I was reading about Teddy Roosevelt on like Wikipedia, and then I know it's going on too long, we'll move on. But Teddy Roosevelt subscribed to something, it's a philosophy that was called muscular Christianity, and I was like, what the hell is that? So I read on it, and it's actually a cool philosophy because it fundamentally comes down to how can you feed the poor if you have no resources, and how can you help the weak if you're not strong? So like if you invest in yourself and your own like capability, you can better serve others. And I really like that.
Wow. That's wonderful. And that makes a lot of sense. That sounds very, very healthy.
That's kind of like a boiled down way of being like you can't love other people if you don't love yourself.
Yeah, it's just like when you're on the plane. If you cannot put the mask on yourself first, how do you take care of the baby next to you?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. Now,
all right,
Lee,
you go.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Lee.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how other people see me.
Let's
'Cause
How do you perceive yourself?
I perceive myself as a very mean person, and I've been told by a vet that he's like, you are very intimidating, you know that, right? I'm like, you were in the military, dude. I'm almost 5'5". You think I'm intimidating? So people told me that, but on the other hand, Anya also told me, she's like, you're just like a white fluffy cat. I'm like, that's two very different perspectives. But I think I'm the kind of person, like, I see myself as a perfect reflection on the person I'm dealing with. If you're a good person, you're gonna see my nice side. I'm gonna show you. I'm like, because you're great, you deserve to be treated with respect and admiration and love. If you're an asshole, I'm gonna show you the side I like better. Like, I'm gonna show you the side that I prefer to be, actually.
She likes to have a release for all that pent up asshole energy. If someone comes at her, she's like,
everyone,
oh boy.
like, yeah, just like, because I don't start drama. Like, I don't start bullshit. But somehow, every once in a while, somebody just like become an asshole to me. I'm like, you know what? I don't take bullshit like this. Let's go. I enjoy this. So that's me. But you guys are great. I love you guys. You guys are just like cutest two people. So.
Oh, thanks.
Aw, thank you.
But I don't know how other people see me.
That's so funny to me, because to me, you seem like exactly the kind of person who wouldn't know how people see you, which is what I admire so much about you. I feel like you walk through the world and you just genuinely don't give a fuck. You're like, if people like me, they like me, and if they don't, they don't. And
it's
I
very
cannot relate
enviable.
to that
It's
at
very
all.
enviable.
I think that's probably what that guy meant by intimidating, because I don't think you're genuinely intimidating. I feel like the first time I met you, I actually felt a very like warm feeling from you of like, this person really wants to listen and this person really cares. But what's intimidating about you is how much, like, you know, I think there is a certain, not to dive into like deeper philosophies of social interaction, but there's a certain thing in the world that like what anyone who is a bully would pick up on is the desire in people to be liked, and that's the weakness. I don't think it's an actual weakness, but that's what people perceive as a weakness, and they go, okay, I'm gonna exploit that as much as I possibly can in whatever way I can. And when someone is immune to that and they don't have that to exploit, they're invincible socially. No one can get a person who doesn't give a fuck. And I really just have always perceived you as someone who does not give a fuck.
Thank you.
In the best possible way.
I don't give a fuck about people who I care about. Like, I care about how Maxim sees me. I care about how Lucas and Gabby sees me. I care about how Alex, Kim, Chris, Sher, my friends, I care about how they see me. But because I know I always surround myself with really good people. I don't know what kind of person I am, but I know I surround myself with great people. So like, if I don't like you, I probably have some reflection to do on myself, but you probably should do the same too. Cause like, yeah. And I try to be as good a person can be to people who I think who do deserve goodness, kindness, and warmth. So when I try to when I not being so nice to certain people, I don't feel bad about it.
It's incredible. It's really a great trait.
Yeah, all I can say about you, Lee, is that I think you is just like one of the most generous people I know. That's all I can say. And that you have the kind of, it's kind of like what Gabby said, like you just don't give a fuck about people, is that you have the energy I wish I could have sometimes.
Thank you.
And that's for real.
Yeah, like when people pull bullshit at mics, I feel like it's just Lee who comes in first to stop it.
You are genuine at all costs, and that is something that's very difficult to do.
I want to be brave and stand up to people, but sometimes I find it very difficult because it's like
super difficult. Yeah,
it's just so. Just why can't people choose not to be shitty on their own accord? But in the absence of that, you do have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
That's also one thing I want to be somebody like Sharia. You know,
don't we all?
Oh, yes, we do.
She doesn't tolerate bullshit, and she, but at the meantime, she's so reasonable. And if at a mic or at a show, she'll call people out in a very funny way, then people will understand and take her side and respect her for that. I'm like, that's the person I want to be.
There was one time at Brooklyn House of Comedy, a dude made a transphobic joke, and Sharia called it out as that's transphobic. And like
she explained to him.
She explained to him while she's on stage why it was wrong, and he goes, "Oh, I guess you're right." And he just like,
wow.
It was incredible. I was like, that was just like the ultimate like coup d'etat of like.
I'm like, just Shreya, shine your light on me, please.
I saw Zuby do something like that at a mic too, which makes sense that they're good friends. But like, this guy went up at Eastville and he made a joke that was like, "Oh, I'm from San Francisco. Now I live in Crown Heights, so it's like I did a reverse Fresh Prince of Bel-Air." And then Zuby went up and goes, "Damn, homie, that's gentrification. That's what you do."
Oh, that's perfect.
And the room fucking exploded. Oh, it was so good.
That's amazing.
I gotta channel that energy.
So
go ahead.
Since you guys did your self-perceptions on your first episode of this, can we tell you things we like about you?
Yeah, okay. You can also say things you don't like about us. You can say anything you want.
All right. Lee, let's
be like, Lucas,
Gabby.
Stop committing genocide. Jesus Christ. Just like
I've tried to tell him for years. He doesn't listen.
I know.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. I guess we'll start with Gabby because we're less acquainted.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do forgive me. I think someone might be knocking on my door. Just one sec.
It's the police.
It's the fuzz being like, "Stop committing genocide, Lucas." I am once again asking.
We understand, sir, that you are harboring an illegal meerkat in this apartment.
And that this meerkat is very judgmental.
Very judgmental. Nosy Meerkat.
This meerkat is always commenting on teenagers' drama. I mean, get a job, you know?
Oh, here he comes. Oh,
here he comes.
Back. Okay. So, I guess, Gabby, like, the first time I, like, met you was through your Anne Hathaway Presents mic. And when I first did it, Lee got me to do it. And I was honestly a little intimidated, like, not by you, but just by the fact that it's, like, a more LGBT, like, leaning mic. And I came in, I'm like just like a white straight dude, and I went at the end and I'm like, oh man, I hope these people like me, because I like But like you and Aaron were just always so fun, and I was just like, these are like really good people. Like you can just tell right away that it's like, oh, these are very kind people. And you're like, I think Zoom comedy is kind of terrible. We all do. But your PowerPoint presentations always had me dying. Like you were so good at those, and it was so funny. And I think now that we kind of know you better and we listen to the podcast and stuff, like I just think of you as such like a bright, warm person. Like you're just so happy. Like it's just like, has Gabby done anything wrong in her entire life? Like that's
I have many things wrong. A lot of things. That is so sweet, though.
But yeah,
I love
I
that.
think
That was lovely.
I think you meet all three criteria. You're kind, you're genuine, and you're funny. So
Fuck yeah.
Gabby, you're like a glass of warm orange juice in the morning.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is orange juice supposed to be
No,
warm? That's my
But it's really good when it's warm. It's
I didn't know that, actually.
it's just like hot apple cider, but it's orange juice. Not
Ooh,
super
okay.
hot, but it's like, let's say 65 Celsius.
That's
That's
isn't
like
that like
s-
120 Fahrenheit? I don't know.
No,
math.
that's like 80, like
With 65
75.
Celsius, like
Should I pull out a calculator? Or... It doesn't
times
matter.
2 at 30.
It's like
it would-
40 seconds in the microwave.
it's not boiling.
Yeah, it's not
No.
boiling, but it's like warm enough to warm you up in the morning.
Anyway, this is about
Okay.
Gabby.
Yeah,
But we digress.
and you're just so cute, you know? And like I told you last time, like if like the other day we were talking about which comedians look delicious if we eat people. You are very I'm like Gabby, she just looks so delicious. Like you have a delicious soul if I was a demon that eats people.
I wish you were.
You have just so delightful. Just
Oh, you
so
guys are so
happy.
sweet, and I love this lavishing. It's
That was
funny
so
because I don't know that I consider myself like actually a happy person. There's a lot I have like existential dread about, but I do like pleasure. You know, I like
Your hedonism bot from Futurama.
a little bit. I like to eat good food. I like to, have good sex. I like to do open mics and make people laugh. I definitely am a person who aspires for pleasure. So I'm glad that comes across in a way that isn't just like this fucking hedonist bitch. Like,
No, I think when you walk into a room, you're just like sunshine. Like you're just
Yeah.
like, yay, Gabby's here.
Yeah.
Especially when you show up with a full face protector, shield, gloves, and a
That
squirt
was
bottle.
great.
Well,
That
that
was
was
adorable.
that was at like the height of COVID. I hadn't been outside. It was like,
Yeah.
like really in a real, and we didn't know how safe the outside was. So I went to that show, and I was like, I guess a shield would be the extra layer of protection. As it turned out, I didn't need it, but it was helpful for when it started pouring
Yeah.
down rain.
That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. Because it was the way that ended was with Anya Jones doing stand up under a tree, rain pouring on us.
Oh,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
and
Matt
a very
Kelly.
and a very sweet Hispanic family who didn't have anything to do with the stand-up show, just sheltering under the tree as well.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing.
I'll never forget that show.
Was that the first of those outdoor shows?
No.
Or the
Second
second?
or
The second or third, yeah.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
It was great.
All right. Now,
All right, what do you guys think of Lucas?
Lucas, do you want to go first, Lee?
You go first.
Okay. Lucas, I think one thing we maybe spoke briefly at an open mic, but then we met you on that train with your actor friend that one day.
Yeah, Amanda, yeah.
And when I first saw you at Eastville, I thought, oh my God, this dude is so fucking funny. I don't know how I'm going to talk to this person or be that funny. And then when I met you on the train, I was like, oh my God, he's so friendly and so genuine and so nice. It was like a huge like release. It was like, yes, like this is such a relief because now I'm friends with Lucas Arnold. It's so cool. And you're so fun and you're great to hang out with in a group, and like you have a good give and take to conversations and like the energy of a room. And you're just so interesting too. You're okay. Let me start with this. For being a TikTok star, you are extremely humble, and I love it because it didn't get to your head. And I know we talked about your egotistical moment earlier, but
Yeah.
you're still cool. You don't think you're better than anyone, and
I'm better than that girl in the park, though. I'm
Yeah,
better
yeah.
than her. She's way, way below.
and you're just so interesting.
You're a blue check.
Exactly.
You just have like interesting life experience and interesting like take on things. Like you're just as interesting as you think you are, and you don't have to worry about people not thinking you're interesting because you are. And that comes across very clearly. And finally, I will end this with a little bit of a roast. After you being on my podcast, me listening to your podcast, and hanging out with you hundreds of times, yes, we all know that you wanted to eat bugs as an adult, and you did, and you enjoyed it. We all know you wanted to eat the bugs.
Yeah. That's not a roast. The only roast was the
just true.
delicious crickets that were dry roasted and flavored with chili powder. They were delicious.
Oh, that sounds good.
I just like...
They were
In,
amazing.
in 2030, we're all going to be eating things out of cricket flour. That's
Yeah.
just the truth.
I
because
cannot
food
wait.
Is becoming
I'm
more
ready for it.
unsustainable.
And,
I agree. When they eat like the stuff they say is gross on Survivor, I'm like, give me that shit. That looks amazing.
But I'm like, that one fact about you, Lucas, I'm like, if he ever wrote an autobiography in his 80s, it would start with, one day I wanted to eat bugs.
No, it will start with when I was 4. I told my mom, when I grow up, I want nothing but 2 things: fortune and fame. It will start with that.
That's a true story. That when my mom said, when you were 4, I was giving you a bath, and we had a lot of deep conversations in the bath. That's how she started it. And she said that I said, Mom, I want 2 things in life: fame and fortune.
Oh my god. Yeah, when I was like in 5th grade, I wrote this little like bio for myself because we all had to do it for the 5th grade play to hang it up outside the theater, and I wrote, "The stage is my bread and butter. This is my time."
Whoa, Gabby.
Oh, that made me so
Holy
happy.
shit.
All right, Lee, tell us what you like or hate about Lucas, because we can do anything.
We can do anything.
Okay. What do I want to start with? I like how anal Lucas is about manners. It's just like I just love it, you know, because like I don't know about, because I really appreciate when people are anal about their manners, so I can use how they behave to check on myself. So it's like a human mirror. And Lucas is so punctual. Lucas is the most punctual person I've ever met. And it's just so great. And I feel bad because I'm always late. And Lucas is a person I know I can trust Lucas as a friend.
Mhm.
If I need something, if I'm in some kind of emergency, Lucas is that friend I know I can just like, would you help me with this? And he also knows I trust him, and he would appreciate my trust. And I know I can just count on him. Lucas, you're like that friend to me.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's very high praise.
Yeah, what else? You're
when we-
funny.
When we go to do
And
stuff,
It's
like-
my part
hang
to
on,
tell
quick,
Lucas
quick.
about good things.
I'm gonna add a tag. When Lucas, when we go to do things and you end up being at the same place coincidentally, it's like, oh yes, Lucas is here. Like
I feel the same way about Lucas, actually.
it's like
Oh.
you're like a safe home base as a person.
That makes
Even
me
when
very
we didn't know each other that well, like Lucas, I feel like we first met at Eastville and we just had like a long conversation, and I was just like, I feel comfortable now that
Yes,
this dude is
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. It was
I
very,
was like, I like that
instant.
This guy's here.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was super instant with us.
Yeah.
We fell in love.
we did. Soulmates.
Yeah. And Lucas is so humble. He's not like, I think you're it's just like, it's not about how much how many TikTok followers you have. It's just like, you're so talented. Did he hide his face because he's blushing?
No, my iPad said, "Oh, you're on 10%." By the way, I was like, I know.
You're so talented, but you're not cocky about it. Like, you have talent. Like, people would like you see all those artists in Bushwick. Like, yes, though they are talented, but they're so cocky, they're like so pretentious. You're just so humble, so down to the earth, such a lovable person. Well, there's another thing I want. Oh, and I just really like to tell Lucas like really big compliments, because I know he doesn't take compliments well. So I just like regularly.
We really got ourselves into quite a doozy with this pod. Yeah, like, how do you feel perceived?
I shower Lucas with like compliments a lot, because I know he doesn't take it well. I'm like, no, take it. Like, you deserve this. It's like I do this to Lucas and Alex Kim. Sometimes Chris
he
Scher.
hates compliments.
Yeah, I just like, so great. You guys are great. Lucas, you're such a good person.
Oh my God, you guys are the best.
You are. It's very true. This was a heartwarming
This
episode.
is very
Thank you guys for
heartwarming.
being on.
Thank you guys so much.
And now you get to indulge in some shameless self-promotion. It's like you've eaten
Yes.
a delicious meal that was very healthy, and now you get to indulge in some caloric self-promotion dessert.
And now take an espresso straight into the veins. Let's do it.
You go first.
Okay.
Yes, plug and promote anything you like.
Okay, so I have 1,300 projects, and I'm going to list them all in alphabetical order.
Good.
No, okay.
Good.
So check out my podcast. It's called Don't Quit Your Day Job. It has the white cover with the pink letters. There's a couple podcasts that have the same name. I did not realize that when I made it. But on my podcast, I interview people about their creative passions. And it's like an open interview. It's a lot of fun. I meet some people with some great stories and like cool things pertaining to the thing they love to do in life that isn't work, or like sometimes is work. Lucas was on there as episode 2. Gabby, you're on my list. I'm coordinated. I've got a lineup.
You know what? It's okay.
I'll have you. It's okay.
I'm kidding. I'm playing.
But
it's okay.
yeah, so check that out. It's available on all platforms. And follow me on Twitter at Maxim of Allen. Definitely follow me on Twitter. I just hit 1,000 followers, so I'm kind of a big deal. But yeah, check me out. And then Lee and I, we have a comedy production thing called Little Panda Productions. You can find us on Instagram. We're kind of in limbo with our show that we're doing right now, but we will be doing comedy shows in the future. So check it out and come to our shows. Buy tickets, please.
Okay, just follow me on Instagram. I want Pomeranians. And I repost cute puppy videos and pictures every day. You're gonna love it.
And occasional open mic drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't post selfies, so you won't see my stupid face all over my page. It's gonna be all real content. Not real content, but you won't be annoyed. It's gonna be fun. Just follow me on Instagram. I want Pomeranians. I love dogs.
Follow her on Instagram. You won't be annoyed. I think we'll end
What a
it there.
tepid
Thank
compliment.
You guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We are
You
two
guys-
Nosy Meerkats. See you next episode. Thank you to Lee and Maxim again.
You guys are so much fun. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
Yes.
us.
Yeah, awesome.
And that is cut. Oh my god, that was so fun.
Woohoo!